Good morning, everybody. You are listening to K-Talk Radio, 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki, and today we are going to be talking about flipping houses. You know, there is some interesting opportunity right now. They say with every negative, you can typically find a positive, and I would say that in the majority of market crashes that we've had as an economy throughout history, you'll always find a story where when the economy tanked and there was a negative, there were certain individuals out there who took advantage of the opportunity and were able to make it a positive. Meaning that, especially through real estate, when the market tanks and crashes and there's blood on the street and everybody's fearful, there are other individuals out there taking the opportunity to purchase low-priced, very economical stocks or real estate. And so when the economy turns around, because it always does, it always has in history, whatever it's gone down, it's always gone back up. The people who took that negative and purchased the affordable assets at that particular time ended up making a positive out of that negative. I recently saw an interview with one of the lead acquisition gentlemen for Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. For those of you who've never read that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I highly recommend, if you have any interest in real estate, reading that book. Even if you don't have any interest in real estate, it might be what creates interest for you in real estate. I know for many, many people, including myself, that book was really what helped me understand the power of owning a rental property. You know, just owning real estate in general. And so, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, you know, New York best-selling author. This individual, this acquisition manager, one of his lead acquisition gentlemen, talked in an interview and had shared that they had purchased 10,000 units over the last decade, per se. So that's a lot of rental properties, 10,000. And they had as many, guesstimation, I guess you could say, a guesstimated prediction that the economy will go back down, because it always has in history. There's a pattern. Every time we've had a bull market and things are amazing and things are going up and the economy is booming, every 7 to 10 years it will make a correction, and in some cases a recession. So this acquisition manager, lead acquisition person for Robert Kiyosaki, talked about how they had purchased 10,000 doors, but over the last several years, anticipating that there's going to be some type of correction, because we've gone up. For, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they say on average it's every 7 to 10 years the market will correct and start to get steady or go down to some degree. I think we're on the 12th year. Like, we're so overdue for a historical correction if you base it off of history. And these individuals, Robert Kiyosaki's team, they were selling off 3,000 of their units over the last several years, preparing for an economic correction. And the reason they did that is they sold off their 3,000 least performing assets so that they could have cash ready when we have an economical downturn. So a lot of really smart financial people out there have been planning for what they think is some type of correction in the market, or maybe even a recession. And now with this pandemic that we're facing, more and more people think that this is it. This is the time. It's here. This is the very beginning phases. We've had more unemployment as a country, as a nation. We've had more people, if I'm not mistaken, apply for unemployment due to this pandemic than in the Great Depression. And so we have a lot of writing on the wall telling us people can't pay their rents, people can't pay their mortgage, people are filing for unemployment. There's, yes, loan programs that are going to be able to assist these people. There are stimulus programs that are in the making, in the work. But how well will all of that work if we have so many people who cannot pay their mortgage payment? You know, what are the banks going to do? Are they going to work with these individuals, or are they going to start foreclosing on people? And this could be a terrible negative. And hopefully, that doesn't happen. We don't want people getting foreclosed on. We don't want people losing their homes. But if the inevitable happens, if this is what is supposed to happen, if this ends up playing out as what happens, there's people out there who will be capitalizing on this opportunity of negative to make a positive. Now, when I say capitalize on this opportunity, they're capitalizing on the economy, whether they're going to buy foreclosures from the bank, whether they're going to take advantage to capitalize on the prices of real estate going down because of foreclosures that hit the market. So these opportunities where potential real estate may take a downturn in pricing, that's where we're talking about people capitalizing on this opportunity if there is a negative. So what I wanted to do is chat about flipping houses, because if that was to happen, if we were to take a negative downturn, that's beyond your control, my control. If all of a sudden we go back into a 2008 where there's tons of foreclosures and the market's saturated with properties, it's unfortunately something that we cannot stop if it happens. So what can we do though? Well, we can put ourselves in a position to utilize and take advantage of this opportunity where real estate may get to a more affordable price.